All right, everybody. Well, we are wrapping up the Music City Multicon. Everybody having a good time? Had a good time? Great guest. David runs this event. I've known him for many years and a good guy. Glad he's able to do this. Glad you guys could be out here to support it. And we've had some amazing guests. Got to talk to some great guys on Friday. But today, my guest really, there's some guests that don't need an introduction. You know, some people don't need it. I'm going to give them one anyway, but I mean, if you've watched a movie, if you've watched television, if you've eaten food in California, apparently, you know who this man right here is. I mean, a story that's unbelievable, inspirational, motivational, exceptional. I'm here with the one and only Danny Trejo. Give it up, everybody. All right, so before I get started, I have to give thanks to someone. Today is a special day for someone in my life. It's my wife's birthday, and she allowed me to come here and talk to Danny Trejo, so happy birthday, honey. Thanks for doing that. All right, Danny Trejo, let's talk. Let's talk about tacos. I mean, that's what the shirt says, tacos. All right, so tell me what makes a great taco? Because I mean, tacos is one of my top 3 foods. So I need to know, Danny, what makes a great taco in your mind?
Anything but peanut butter.
Anything. Now,
Butter just doesn't go good in a taco. But that's what I love about tacos is like we have a cauliflower taco that gets 5 gripes or grapes or kelps or whatever it is.
there you go.
5 of them every year. And cauliflower is delicious. You know, so, and you know, my favorite is still the Baja fish taco.
Yeah.
So, but carnitas is great and
For sure.
carne asada. Where's Mikey and
Oh, got some more people on. All right. Well, okay. So, yeah, because I read on there that the cauliflower tacos are amazing. And you said in the interview I read, you said you almost hated to admit that they were great. But, I mean, yes, any taco done great. But you said the key to the great taco is spice, right?
Well, you know what? It's like, you know, it's what you like. You know, it's like some people like food that's extra hot. Other people like food that's tastes really good. Like pico de gallo. Pico de gallo is like a taste spice. It's not like a, you know, your teeth go to hell.
Right.
You know, so I love pico de gallo because even the kids can eat that and it's good. It's not like super spicy. So it's what you like.
Right.
That's what's good about a taco, and that's all the way around the world. I mean, we're putting a restaurant in Detroit, kind of like the House of Beans. You know,
Okay.
with Live Nations, and then we're doing one in London, so expanding a little bit.
Yeah. Are you going to expand here soon? I mean, when's Nashville?
You know what? We'll see how it is. You know, we go all over.
Now, have you had hot chicken here yet? Have you had?
Yeah, we've gone through just about everything, you know. And then we were down on Broadway like 2 nights, you know. Well, we'll be there tonight. In fact, my singer Taran is going to do the open mic down there.
Nice.
So it's going to be kind of cool. We have a record label now for
Yeah.
music.
That's for sure. So you have Trejo's Music, which is his record label. And then we have artist Taran New, right?
Taran, yeah.
And so Tara's going to be, do you know where you're at tonight on Broadway? Or find it out, we'll give you a shout out and people can come check it. There you go. So Danny Trejo, if you're not catching here, he's just taking over the world. I mean, you're doing music, you're doing food, you did donuts, you're doing I bought some of your coffee, so I'll let you know how it is.
See, I love the donuts, but for me, they have a pineapple fritter. But you can only eat 2 or you'll need rehab. I'm just going to go straight to rehab. 2 of them, but we have just a different. Then police station is near, so we get a lot of police coming in, and they like donuts.
Yeah.
And then we have the studios right by our donut shop, and then they just built a big apartment complex. So we're right on the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and Highlands.
Okay.
It's really a crowded area.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you put a donut shop next to a police station, playing the odds right there. That's not bad. Now so I've already asked you what your favorite taco is. Do you have a favorite donut? I mean, is it the pineapple fritters? Is it? That's the winner. Now, it's wild to think about just your life in general, right? I mean, if people don't know, I'm sure most of them do, but you start off your life, you live in California, you get introduced to drugs at a young age, end up in the institution, the criminal justice system, then come out. And I mean, one of my favorite things to hear about that is when you get out, you talk about service, and how it can be of service to people. And one of your first acts was helping this woman take her trash out. And that like inspires me so much as someone who's trying to be, helpful in the world.
Well, you know what? It's especially being of service. It's like anybody that you see successful, if they're successful and happy, it's because they're being of service. Anybody that you see that's successful and miserable, it's because they're not. They're no, don't spend it there. So I choose to, pay it forward, whatever it is.
Right.
And everybody that breaks bread with me, and everybody that's got a key to my house, there's a lot of people. I come home and people I didn't know it, but it's like they all have thermal underwear, they all have socks, they all have non-perishable food in their trunk. 'Cause feed the homeless, do whatever you can.
Right.
And it just seems to make life better. My guys are the kind of guys that if we're driving down the street and we see guy trying to move a refrigerator with his wife, we'll stop and just, from across the street.
Right.
We run up on them. They're calling 911. Hey, you need some help. We help them, and then I love it when they try to hand it 5-10. Now it's cool, and you got it.
Yeah.
And you go away feeling good, and that's the way I choose to live my life. Still argue with people, still get mad. It's human nature, but it's like 9 times out of 10 during the day I feel great.
That's a good message to spread to everybody. But yeah, it's got to be wild though if you're coming up to help someone who's got like a flat tire. I mean, it's probably like their mind's probably blown. It's like, that's Danny Trejo. That's like Machete coming up to help me. Wow,
Somebody's sitting there. Wow, shut up and help me.
Now, so you got into this food industry thing. How did that happen? I mean, this
Get into movies.
Yeah.
It was, again, it's like trying to help somebody. I was trying to be a extra with a friend of one of the guys that I was sponsoring. Trying to detox, and he called me up one night and said, "Hey, there's a lot of blow down here in my job." It was 1985. So I went down there, hang out with him. I ran into a guy named Eddie Bunker. Now, Eddie Bunker, I was in prison with in 1965 and 66. And he was the captain's clerk in San Quentin. And that's one of the most powerful jobs you can have, because if somebody's hassling you, one of the cops is hassling you, and you got $50 or $100, whatever it's going to cost you, you can give it to Eddie and say, "Get this guy out of here." And he can, when he's passing things for the captain to sign, he just put that transfer slip in there, and captain signs it, and all of a sudden that guard finds himself up in the tower from 12 to 6 in the morning. And so that was him, and I ran into him when I went down to help this kid, and that was on the movie set of a movie called Runaway Train with John Voight and Eric Robert. And I said, "Eddie, what are you doing here?" And he said, "I adapted the screenplay." I know what that meant. But Ayakawa, a Japanese writer, had written the play, and he had the John Voight character as somebody that killed his wife. And, well, you can't kill your wife and go to prison and be a hero.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's a little problem, right?
Kill her boyfriend. And so he he had to change it. So he changed the whole thing, made him an armed robber. When you rob banks and rob grocery stores, you're not really hurting John Q. Citizen. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you're kind of a heroic character. So they made him. And we started talking, and he says, I said, what are you doing? He said, I adapted the screenplay, man. What are you doing? I said, I'm helping out this kid, and they're going to give me $50 for acting like a convict. And we laughed because we'd been doing that for free forever. Right. and he said, we need somebody to train one of the actors how to box. And he saw me win the lightweight and the welterweight title up at San Quentin. And I said, what's it pay? And he said, $320 a day.
Huh.
They didn't give me $50, right?
Right.
I said, $320 a day. How bad you want this guy beat up? I thought, beat somebody up. I'd have done it for another $50. And I started training an actor named Eric Robert.
Okay.
How to fight in a runaway train. And most actors can act really good, can't fight with it.
Yeah. Right.
So we started training him, and the director, a guy named Andrei Kozlowski, this was his first American movie, so he didn't really know how to handle stars of Eric's caliber, and because they'll just die hell this with it walk off the set, And it's funny that he started talking to me. Russell, we just shoot him, and that's the way to take care of it. And so, but he saw that Eric would do whatever I said, So he came up and hired me. I'll never forget because he came up and me and Eddie were standing. With you be in movie, you fight Eric in movie, and then he goes like this, and you be my friend. Well, if you're still from a prison background, it's a red flag when somebody says, you be my friend.
Right. Yes.
And I was just getting ready to tell him, hey, buddy, I ain't taking a shower with you. And then he kissed me on both cheeks and walked away. I told Eddie, I'm going to train the kid for the $350, but if I'm going to be kissing that old man, I want more money. See? And Eddie said, "Dog, he's European. If I would have known what that old man did by getting me that SAG card, I'd have washed his back."
Right.
Let me get that for you. And so it changed my whole life.
Right. That's wild to think about. And so being in movies led you to be in the movie Badass, where that's how you got into this whole food industry, right?
I ended up being, my agent Gloria talked to me because I was waiting for this other movie with big money. Badass was actually one of those movies that is on a prayer, and they call it no budget.
Yeah.
It's very, they get your sandwich for lunch, so I went on that one, and it was strange, but I don't eat like McDonald's or Jack Lee. I would bring tuna salad or something, and Ash Shaw, one of the producers, saw that I don't eat processed. He's just kind of joking, said, "Hey, how come you eat so good?" I said, "Shit, at the time I was 69 years old, and you better eat good." And he said, "Why don't you open a restaurant?" Jokingly, I said Trejo's Tacos, and then we did Badass on the Bayou, and he brought us a business plan. And, I looked at the first page, there was no killing. Nobody got shot. It says no brainer. It was just one of those that they really wanted to go into business with me. They didn't want to make, like in other words, most of the time somebody comes with a great idea, but they want $150,000 up front, So I just kind of back off, and base is no brainer. So one for her would be in.
Yeah.
So in order to be successful, you have the right people around you, or good people around you. It seems to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I think Woody Allen said, success is 80% of just being in the right place at the right time, you know. So, and having good people around you helps, which you seem to have as well. So,
I always say everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. Everything.
yeah,
The record label has started helping there's a mom that was in a battered women's shelter, and I always take the shampoos and the soaps and stuff, you know, the hotels.
yeah, mm-hmm.
I take them, and I met this one lady, and she was talking about her daughter was a singer and blah blah blah. So, there's a little kid murdered up in Simi Valley, I forget where, but we went and her and her daughter were there. Her daughter sings amazing. So I was just joking. We just started a record label now. That we have 3 singers right now, and then they're amazing. It's like, so we sell out everywhere we go, and I enjoy it. You know, I love music. I enjoy the crowds and the stuff. You know, so it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. That's amazing. So yeah, did you ever find out where you're playing at on Broadway? Robert's Western World. So if you go on Broadway, you're not going to miss it. It's one of the big places. It's right next to where like Second and Broad is. So been there a few times myself. So if you don't have plans tonight, you go check her out. She's amazing. So go do that. All right. So you're in LA. You a big sports fan? I see you always wearing like Dodgers gear, Rams gear.
The Rams. What's the score?
Well,
they're getting whipped by the Cowboys.
yeah, but you guys just won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago,
A
right?
couple of years ago, but we've died since then.
I mean, I'm a Titans fan. We've never won a Super Bowl, so, you know.
Well, right now, who is it? Who's the one that going to the World Series?
The Texas Rangers.
Yeah, they're the first time.
Yeah.
Texas.
It's 4 years at T Cowboys.
Oh,
What?
whoops.
No.
Well,
No.
can't win them all, right? I mean,
Next year.
so when you talk about all your, you know, changing things and helping people, I know you're involved with the prison system. I mean, have you ever gotten involved or think of ways we can really change how people go into the system and really change them coming out? Because, I mean, a lot of people just go in and they're right back where they started, right? They have court fees they got to pay. They have to check in with the PI. All this stuff, you know, and...
Well, like in California, California Department of Corrections, spelled backwards, is recidivism.
Yeah.
All right? Because when you come out of prison, you have a ice cube chance in hell. All right.
Right.
Most of the people that you had connections with or friends with or people you get a job with, they're gone. Depending on how much time you did. Right now, we're working with people, me and Mikey's dad, Mario, we're working with people that went to the joint while they were 16, 17 years old, and now they're 30, 35. My cousin, Gilbert, he was 17. He went to the penitentiary, and he got out when he was, 37 years.
Wow.
And he's been like, it's funny because he was actually helping to build SoFi Stadium, you know, because he learned electrical in the Benton, and then from there he went to the LAX, and he was going to work there, and he put down, you have to be cleared by our Homeland Security.
Yeah.
So he put his references, me, Mario Castillo, and Sal Saldana, all 3 ex-felons. So immediately, Homeland Security came along and, wait a minute, buddy. But the powers that be in the airport knew us. And they said, no, so he worked there. Now he's working on another. So he's dead and stopped working. And If you come out and have some kind of plan that you did while you were in prison, which is really hard to do because prison offers you nothing.
Right.
Okay. So all this stuff you have to do on your own. So it's almost impossible for people that haven't done anything out here on their own to go into prison. But some people change.
Okay.
So right now we're dealing with about 60 guys that have come out of prison and are working, have a job, and are testing regularly, sugar off ultra, and so it works. But again, you have to have some kind of mentor, stable living situation.
Right. I mean that's what your companies offer as well. Your second chances for these guys coming out, which is awesome. And I know during COVID you were also very helpful helping feed people, that was just a crazy time altogether. So once again, I just want to stress that the service that you're doing is, I mean, I mean, I don't know if you think about it, but it's kind of crazy to think about, like I said, where you were to where you are now, just not even in terms of being famous or just the amount of help you're putting out into the world. It's kind of crazy.
I think it's one of the things you have to do. It's like you got to be of service, because it's like we're all on the Titanic looking for a good seat.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So it's like, well, we might as well go down helping each other, because basically that's what we have to do.
Right. That's
the way that I know that the people around me are the happiest, when they're helping each other and helping, whatever, and God really pays it forward. I mean, he didn't, but I helped Mario. I did a movie called Blood In, Blood Out. I did it in San Quentin, where I had been before, but me and George Perry went back to San Quentin and we did this movie. There I met a guy named Mario Castillo, who was from Los Angeles, and one of the few, because San Quentin was north. And so we talked, and I told him about staying clean and doing this. But 8 years later, I run into him in a Narcotics Anonymous convention, and he, guys, I took your advice, man, I'm clean in this recovery house. And so he worked, and he ended up working with like the needle exchange, like helping drug addicts and stuff, right? And then his liver went out, doping, right? And he needed a liver transplant. Well, when he had the liver transplant, he lost everything. He's basically in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And so he moved in with me, answered my phone, something, I got a house, and so he would answer. Now he's my assistant, right? He's taking care of the whole thing. But he was there 9 years, and it's funny. 9 years after he moved in, it's like he saved my son's life.
Wow.
His son,
that's crazy,
going through this drug stuff, and Mario kicked in the door of the crack house and pulled him out. And then I came back from Germany, and we took him to a place that a girl named Renee that I knew. I called her up, and she's bring him. I would, do you have room? It doesn't matter. I'll put him in with one of the girls. Bring him.
Right.
And so we took him to a place called Above the Rim, and it was actually going up Lake Arrowhead. And when we passed the clouds, I'll never forget, Gilbert goes, well, I guess all plans of escape are out. As we went through the clouds.
Right.
And like I said, he's got 9 years clean right now. We just celebrated 9 years. So.
Well, congratulations to him. I mean, that's a full circle story,
God will pay it forward.
Yes.
We don't know when.
Absolutely, for sure. All right, well, let's see. I'm going to ask right now, does anyone have any questions currently that you want to ask? If so, come on up and we can ask them. And you want to...
Yeah, take us right. Here you go.
All right, ask away.
Hi, Danny. Welcome to the Music City. We hope y'all come back now you're here. I got a two-part question. I'd like to preface it with this statement I got off Wikipedia. Some of Danny's most notable credits include Machete, Desperado, Con Air, Halloween, Heat, Breaking Bad, Spy Kids, Dora the Explorer, and The Lost City of Gold, as well as 417 other projects that you've done. Not to mention, one of my all-time favorites was the 2022 Super Bowl commercial with Lindsay Lohan and William Shatner for Planet Fitness. Three of the most unusual people that might be together in an ad. So here's my two-part question for you. First, what are 2 or 3 your most famous and favorite projects that come to mind? And secondly, who are some of your favorite actors that you have enjoyed working with?
Heat and Machete are probably the 2 biggest, things that I've done, and love both them movies. When we did Heat, I made friends with Robert De Niro.
There you go.
And then when we did Machete, we asked him if he'd be in it, and he said certainly. So he came and did Machete, and it was so funny because I used to tease Robert on Heat because we had 2 call sheets, one with the good guys and one with the bad guys, and we never got together, right? And I'd always go, hey, you number 1, because you're number 1 on the call sheet. That means you're top dog, and you're like number 1. And so it was like when we did Machete, I was walking the craft service, and I ran into him. He was, hey, you number 1. And you, how can you be number 1 with De Niro? I said, can I get you some coffee, mister? We went and got coffee, So I think that those 2, were like the biggest thing I did. The one that gave me the most audience was Spy Kids.
Right.
I did Spy Kids, and I heard, look, mommy, the man from Spy Kids from all over the world, So that was just a worldwide hit, and I love that movie, and so just keep working, And yeah, I remember it's like we've done 400, but a lot of those we did as favors. They were like, I did like student films, and we got peanut butter and jam if you want. And so we would do first-time directors of student films. But they count, So it was still.
There you go. Now, speaking of some of the actors you've worked with, I was listening to your interview with Mark Maron on the WTF podcast, and if I'm remembering this correctly, tell me I'm wrong, but you said that on the set of Con Air, all those alpha males on there, you said the baddest dude on that set, and I can't forget this, John Cusack.
Man.
You stand by that, right?
People do not realize, because John Cusack, I hope you don't hear me, it's kind of like a goof.
Yeah.
But his sensei is Benny Urquidez.
Oh, okay.
That's Benny the Jet. That's the guy that used to fight the main one.
Yes.
I forget it. Jackie Chan.
Mm-hmm.
Not Jackie Chan.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, right? And him and Chuck Norris both trained under Bruce Lee. So they're like the real thing. If you want to shut somebody up on a movie set that's talking about how tough they are, just say, oh, yeah, Benny the Jet, don't you? And you get all there. And that's all of them, And so it's funny because every day at lunch, everybody would start competing against each other. If you spit, somebody spit further. If you did a push-up, and Benny Urquidez would always come and grab me, and we'd go into the dojo, and I'd say, Benny, what's your trip? You won't know him? Danny, those guys are all trying to see who's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
You don't play well with others. Just come on.
Right.
And so we would stay by ourselves. But John Cusack, I seen him kick a bag, and bend it. Okay, like, whoa, okay, now, you got to have a jackhammer to.
Right, yeah.
And he's amazing. And I've watched him work out, and I just think it's funny that nobody knows it because he doesn't he doesn't walk around like.
No, he doesn't. But now you guys know it. So, if you see John Cusack stay. Now, you talk about your boxing. My son is right there. He's he's thinking about getting into boxing. So were you trained formally in boxing, or did you just pick it up? Or
Well, I had an uncle when I was 8 years old that was fighting Gold Gloves. He was like 14, I guess, then. And so I was either going to learn how to fight or get beat.
right, that's right.
You know, you said, I mean, sparring part of it, punch you back. But, so I got pretty good, boxing. When I went to the pen, that's all we do was fight. They took those out now, When I came out, I couldn't get a license because of my record, so I did club fights.
Okay.
Fighting in clubs and stuff. But fighting in clubs is not really sanctioned, and the problem is like, you're 137 pounds, you're fighting lightweight.
Right.
Well, you're fighting another lightweight at 154 pounds.
Right, yes, they have.
So, we did pretty good, but it's still in your head kicked in, and I couldn't wait 2 years. I'd already been drunk, and every once in a while a trainer would come in and say, hey, we're trying to bring this kid along, it's a little extra in the envelope.
There you go. So,
But so fighting is it's probably the toughest sport there is to do, because nobody but you, and your brain can only take so many punches.
yeah, no, that's true.
And it's even the great fighters, if you look at them when they're older, they'll stutter a bit, and see them walk slow.
Yeah, it's a tough business. So you can train, but no fighting. I guess that's what he's telling you right there. So
It's a great sport to train. It's a great sport to train. It's a great sport to get into shape. But I'm just, I would rather train than like spar.
right.
Just do the physical, and you're in great shape.
All right, there you go. Does anybody else have any questions? Come on down. Come on. All right, you just keep it close and speak up and go away.
Hi. Me and my friends are big fans of the Like a Dragon games. And we saw the announcement that you're going to be seemingly an antagonist in the new one. Is there anything you can tell us about that role or the process of getting it at all?
So they said the Like a Dragon video game, they're going to make a sequel, apparently. Is there anything you can tell him about that?
I don't even remember it.
He's got 400 credits. To be fair,
Makes sense.
but so apparently no. But
It's a lot of times you can't talk about stuff like that, especially right now.
for sure, yeah. And just to touch on that, yeah. I mean, the actor's strike is going on right now, so a lot of the stuff that he really can't go deep into movies or the video games or the shows like that. So we can talk generally about it, but it's really, at this time, they're kind of, fighting for better wages, fighting for representation, fighting for your right to live. I mean,
Everybody's trying to be fair. We're trying to, it's because, when you had residuals on movies, okay, that was fair. But then all of a sudden you have hula hoop and
Netflix,
Spotify,
all
those other things. They're like, wait a minute, and the producers, right, the big guys,
Yes.
never cut, and actors aren't getting none. So now the residuals have almost died. So we're trying to be fair. That's all.
No, I mean, yeah, and it's it's a world where, necessarily they would love to have just your image to use and your voice to use, and we're at the stage where we can do that now. Back 20 years ago, it looked terrible, and now we're at the point where, I mean, it's like, I don't know, So yeah, that's kind of that. But well, you're in video, so people love. That's what I'm saying. People love you from video games. People love your movies. I mean, I remember the first movie I saw you in was Con Air. And I remember going, that is the scariest human being I've ever seen in my life. I was like, of all those dudes in the movie, I was like, that guy, no way. I was like,
It's so funny because every plane I have gotten on since Con Air the pilot will say, "Are you gonna behave?" So we have a lot of fun with that.
That's good. That's good. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Oh, come on up.
Chat. So excited. So very talented man. I applaud you at everything that you've accomplished. Similar to his question, you know, he asked about your projects. Just of all these accomplishments between music and food and acting and everything you've done in your life, what are you most proud of?
I think. So what are you most proud of everything you've done? In I guess, you know, and
My kid becoming a director. I mean,
clap for that for sure.
I used to take him to movie sets because he was interested, and I kept trying to get him in front of the camera. But I'd always be talking to the camera guy, and talking to the lighting guy, talking to wardrobe, and all of a sudden, a year ago, he took his director's test, and
That's awesome.
so he's been right now. He's in. Oh no, he's coming back today. I'll see him tomorrow. He was shooting a music video in London, and last month, a music video that he did got nominated for some award in London. But it's really hard to win an award in London when everybody's Londonish. You know?
Right. Yes. Right.
You know, like they are.
Yes, it's very true. I mean, there's so many London.
But he was runner-up, so that was good.
Well, good. Well, that's good. Congratulations. Yeah, but yes, I mean, obviously, seeing your kids succeed is obviously, you know, the people that don't have kids, it's hard to really understand it. But I mean, my kids have done things just on my son plays drums. I went and saw him play, and I was like crying about it. You know, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. So
when he told me, Dad, I'm a director now, and I honest to God, I said, you just became my retirement plan.
What you retire? What would you do in retirement? I mean, you're going to be working, right? Do you? You know,
I told him you're going to start making movies about old people.
There you go. There's a market for it. Definitely. Does anyone else have any questions out there? No? Okay, there we go. Yeah, if you're going to ask one, now's the time. When else is Danny Trejo going to be in front of you? Like the shirt, there you go, all right.
It is surprisingly warm and comfortable. I'm waiting for my son to steal it away from me for him to wear it in 98-degree weather in summer. Absolutely love your documentary. If anybody hasn't watched it, I would recommend it. So my question is, you've got a long history with working with Robert Rodriguez. And as we all know, his filmography is very diverse. So my question is, with your history of working with him, whether it be like Once Upon a Time in Mexico and then through Spy Kids and all that, what do you think you've noticed between your relationship as far as filming like Once Upon a Time in Mexico and then in that trilogy and then and working with Spy Kids? So like going from more adult themed to more family friendly films.
Robert has a way of directing that he kind of leaves it to you. You know, it's not like he said, "No, let's do it." He's like really, he'll ask you, you know, and you just do it, whatever it is. It's like if I'm playing, when I was playing in Spy Kids, I'm working with two young kids who are great, except for the only thing is that they had a cuss jar. You know, and anybody that cussed had to put $1 in the cuss jar, you know, and they would like front, "Hey, you said a bad word," yeah, and so everybody would come in, just put a 20 at the bar, leave me alone, you don't front me off. But my son actually shadowed Robert on a couple of movies, and he picked up, you know, a lot of stuff directing. But with Robert, it's not real difficult because he's like like an older brother that really loves his younger brothers. You know what I mean? But he's not he's a teacher, but like a teacher you like.
Yeah.
No, you like all teachers. Remember, kids, you like all teachers. But you know what I mean? But he's like that, so he gets to you real easy. I've never seen him angry. I've never seen him mad, you know, and so he's like that. He can work with like Robert De Niro and then talk to an extra, you know, and get the same, you know, the great response. And that's an art. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Danny, I read that you had a very auspicious and interesting beginning in your film career, almost by accident. Would you tell us about what you remember of that day that you stumbled onto a movie set and somebody said, "Hey, do you want to be in a movie?" And it required you to take off your shirt. And when they saw that infamous tattoo on your chest, suddenly you were skyrocketed into international fame.
I gotta say this. That people knew my tattoo before they knew me.
Apparently so.
There were some producers that went over to Cannes,
Yeah, sure.
wherever, you know, the big film thing, and they were talking about Danny Trejo and who, and then they would show them a picture of me with, oh, the guy with the tattoo, yeah, you know, and so it was like, you know, I don't suggest that people should try to get into the movies that way, but I was. We talk about being typecast, and I don't really believe typecast means you work, you know. And for me, it's about the work. I don't care. I'll play a tree if you want me to. You know what I mean? How big's the check gonna be? And if you want to put fruit on the tree, that might cost you a little more. You know, but I'll do whatever you got to do. You know, acting is. It's like no different than a house painter. You know, it's like I do what the director says. If I'm painting a house and the owner's, well, you know, I like this kind of a pale blue. And no, I don't think so. I think this should be, you know, wait a minute, it's my house. You know, so it's his film. And so I just do what the director wants me to do. And I think somebody once said the secret to my success is that everybody that's worked with me wants to work with me again or is willing to work with me again. You know, and I think that's the secret more than anything. But now I remember the first movie that I actually had a suit on and I never had to show my tattoo was Death Wish 4 with Charles Bronson. That was the first movie I had a name. I was Art Sinella. And I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? I had a name. Because usually I was bad guy, Mexican guy, tattooed guy, inmate number 1 guy. You know? And so that was the story of my book, inmate number 1.
Right.
And so now I've got a book out now that's called My Life of Crime, Redemption in Hollywood, you know, and I got to say that this has been one unbelievable ride, you know, and the more you do for others, the better your life gets. It's that simple. Yeah, it's that simple. It's funny, we have a neighbor, right? And we finally figured her out. It's like every time her lawn gets too big, she'll get out there and start like trying to mow it, but with a hand. Got 3 big guys.
Right.
Hey, move over with you. Somebody's gonna mow her lawn for her, you know. And you edge it. But that's what we do, you know, and that's the way I like to live.
Nice. All right, well, we'll wrap up with a few more questions. I guess my first question I like to ask people, I used to do a podcast. If you were on a desert island, you can only have 3 items you bring with you, what would you bring? What are the 3 items?
Water.
Water, okay, that's good. You need that.
food. And a boat.
A boat. There you go. I haven't heard that one before. So food, water, and a boat. There you go. Just to wrap it up, Danny. I appreciate your time here. I do want to say, if you haven't been to his table out there, he has his biography, which you need to go read. It's a very good read. You got the cookbooks, which are amazing. You got even guides on how to make non-alcoholic drinks, which is amazing as well. He's got T-shirts right here, hats. He's got hot sauce, coffee, which I tried, and I can't wait to try that. He's got a bunch of stuff. Go out there and check it out. This guy.
I'm a coffee drinker. That coffee's delicious.
I can't wait to try it. I can't wait to try it.
And Tim was singing tonight at I forget. Where at?
Robert's.
Yes, Robert's Western World. So, what time are you starting? Yeah, probably this around what time they start down there. So 8 or 9, be down there if you're in town. You haven't been to Broadway, it's an experience. I grew up here and I've been and watching you grow, but you should definitely go check it out. So I guess Robert, I'm calling you Robert now because that's in my head. Danny, is there anything left that you want to do that you haven't done yet that you're striving for? I mean,
love this town. Everybody's been really nice.
Okay.
And Broadway reminds me of 6th Street in Austin.
Yeah.
Chilled out a couple of times, but it's really a lot of fun. Everybody just seems so friendly, and it's been just really, really a blessing to be here, and finding out that there's some really good places in the U.S.
Oh, absolutely. Still are. All right. Well, if that's it, we're going to go ahead and if you guys want to give it a round of applause for Danny, thanks so much for joining us. Like I said, go check him out. You know who he is. I don't need to give his social media, but go check his table out before he leaves. And Danny, thank you so much. Appreciate it.